Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Yeah, short intro. Let's get right into this. Happy Derby Week, players.
You didn't even do the welcome.
Welcome to Derby Week podcast. We are joined by the great Mike Somich at SOMOBOMB 18. Is that still your handle? You still use Twitter? I'm in and out, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
but,
still there.
Okay. This is a very exciting podcast we do every year, a tradition like many others, but a very good one. And I'm going to do my goddamnedest not to try to influence things because I have strong opinions about this race, and who the hell knows if my horse is even going to be in there on Saturday. So let's pretend for now like all 21 horses, including Baeza, are in consideration here, not knowing who the late scratches may be. The rumor mill is just aggressively churning right now with like 6 different horses, so we won't get into that, and we'll just assume that this is going to be a fair race and just a packed competitive field.
Baffert was allowed back
finally at long last?
Oh, you said fair race.
No. Hey, if you look at Baffert's results this year, Andy, it looks like he's been competing fair. It looks like he's playing fair. Anyway, Mike, welcome back to the deep dive. I'm going to do my best to just cede a lot of the floor to you here, so that we can kind of handicap this sucker. But how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's my Super Bowl week. I get to be on a little bit everywhere, talk a little about the racehorses. Everyone pays attention. We get a huge pool and have $45 million bet into the Kentucky Derby pool this year. There's one horse, if you haven't followed all the buzz yet, that's owned by a social media star. That's going to generate even more money into the pool. It's going to be a phenomenal Kentucky Derby on Saturday. And the undercard, I say this every year, like Friday and Saturday's racing is absolutely amazing. Saturday specifically, the pick 5 ending in the Kentucky Derby might be the hardest pick 5 I've ever handicapped. It is just a loaded card on Saturday.
Hell fucking yes. Well, that's a great introduction. There will be 150,000 plus people here on Saturday. There will be $300 million-ish bet, and hopefully I take some of that home with me. We'll see. I'm excited to get into the exotics, especially with you. And you're going right back to back, right? You're doing a racing, a Magic Mike for Racing Dudes right after this, right?
I am. Yeah, I'm headed over to the Magic Mike show right after this. We're doing the pick 5 ending in the Kentucky Derby. So if you want to see me struggle through handicapping that, head over to that page. And then you bet right after that. So
I love it.
Making the rounds.
So yes, if you're trying to avoid work today, which you ought to be because it's Derby, it's the first Thursday in May, guys. Then be sure to follow all of that great content, and let's get into this Derby. Do you agree this is a competitive field?
Yes, I do. I think this is a very competitive field, and I think that the variance monster is going to bite big time because of what we're going to see from the pace.
Okay, let's talk about the pace first.
What's the pace thesis?
Right? Well, no, before you're getting into the pace thesis, are you just going with one, right? Like you just like I live in the world where this is going to happen. You got to pick one
you like better than the others.
Okay.
Yeah, I am living in one world, and that world is a sub 46 opening half mile. I think they are going to be burning up front. And it's a combination of a bunch of different factors. First off, we have 6 legitimate horses that want the front. So right away out of 20, you've got 6 horses that have speed. And that's without including the 2 Japanese horses. And we've seen some of these Japanese horses come in and just go nuts early, even if they had not gone nuts early before. So we've got 6 for-sure horses that want the lead. You could argue Rodriguez doesn't want the lead. Or that Baffert is planning on rating him based on the comments that he made earlier. I still think he's forwardly placed and pushing the pace here in this spot. But the biggest thing for me is where the speed drew. So Citizen Bull on the 1, 100% sending. Neo Equos in the 2. If you watch the Florida Derby when he broke from the 1 post, he went out and flew early, and he came out of sprint races prior to stretching out. He's got speed. The number 4 horse, Rodriguez, won the Wood going gate to wire. I expect him to show speed. The 5 horse, American Promise, he's very fast, and coach has him working 22:45s in the morning. That is lightning quick.
He's going to be on the pace. Yeah,
he's going to be on the pace. The number 12, East Avenue, who came in second at Keeneland last time out, is an absolute fireball out of the gate. And the number 20, all the way on the outside, Owen Almighty, his connections have come out and said, we believe he's better when he's on the lead.
Okay.
You have speed on the inside. You got speed on the outside. When you have inside and outside speed, their only options are to go like a bat out of hell out of the gate because they have to clear the field. And oh, by the way, East Avenue's in the middle. who's going to be going just as fast as them, and he offers that waypoint for both of them. This just sets up to be flying early, which means that all of those horses are going to be hard-pressed to even hit the super, and that it sets up for horses that are coming from the back, which creates chaos because you don't know who's going to get the trip.
Okay.
General horsing around then with the pace stuff. It's like we always talk about this with the speed, the speed after the start. These horses that fly out of the gate and they run so fast, and I know it's a longer race, and maybe this has worked for them. Like we always talk about like that, and then we just say all those horses are dead for the most part. Like when do what?
Let's not go there, please.
Yeah. No. I obviously not like saying Anita dead, but like those horses just can't. You just said don't even use them in a super. Why do they do that then? Why is that the plan? Is it just this is all the horse can do? Like the horse can't stalk, the horse can't close. Like it has to. We have to have just if you have a speed horse like this, you just have to have that 1 in 100 run where they go gate to wire.
Yes.
The Medina Spirit effort.
That is the simple answer is yes. I mean, these horses just run better when they're in front. Rodriguez, I think, is a great example. If you look at Rodriguez, he goes out, wins in his second start going a mile, goes gate to wire. His third and fourth start, there's more than one Bob Baffert horses, and he's not the fastest, so he doesn't get the lead. He finishes 3rd out of 5 and 4 out of 5 in those races. He goes to the wood, gets the lead, goes gate to wire. He has to have the lead to win. East Avenue has to have the lead to win. Owen Almighty has to have the lead to win. Citizen Bull has to have the lead to win. And so when you only got one chance, you just got to go and hope that
even at this distance, you
hope 4 of them don't break well. You hope that someone gets cut off. You hope that maybe 2 people decide we can rate today, even though they know they can't, and it breaks well for you.
So in this world where we have a pace melt, what happens? Who's the best closer in this field? Who eats them up?
I've kind of fallen in love with a couple of them. I am very, very high on Sovereignty, the 18 horse, especially considering the price we're getting. If you go and look at what the odds are now, it's 5-1 on the morning line. It's been like
7-1. It looks like
it's been 11 or 12-1 consistently.
Yeah. What do we don't even have like $1 million yet, right? You said 45 million is the win pool when it's all said and done.
45 million will be the win pool when it's all said and done. One thing, and I'll actually look right now how much is bet into it.
I think it's like 750, 800 last time I looked.
Yeah, Oh, they have all the races posted now. So right now there is $1 million bucks bet into it, and Sovereignty is 11-1. And the key why I think Sovereignty actually holds the price, and I kind of mentioned this. Sandman the 17 is going to take all the public money, like every last drop of it, because you've got this guy Griffin Johnson who has literally over 3 million followers on multiple social media sites.
You don't have to tell me who Griffin Johnson is. I'm just kidding. You definitely do. I've never heard of this guy. I can't believe he's like some sort of worldwide important influencer.
When you mentioned that the social media influencer, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know who that is. Like, I just know like there's the country singer horse.
I have never heard of him before, and he's got millions upon millions of followers. All of them bet racing on one day if they betted it all. Though let's say 1 million of his followers bet $5 each.
Yeah,
that's $5 million. That's a lot of money.
Amount. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Sandman's a toss. That goofball's not hitting the top of the board. No fucking way. No fucking way.
It's Tappet Trice 2.0, man. It is.
Yes. Horse. Hallelujah. I thought I was deja vu all over again watching him at that end of that Arkansas Derby. That meandering clown barely held off publisher.
Clown.
Oh my gosh.
Mean to this horse.
Well, I can't tolerate this kind of financial support for a horse that's just not going to win.
It's clownery.
Not there. Anyway, congratulations to the 2025 Kentucky Derby champion Sandman. But no, I think I'm completely with you. So let's rule out Sandman. Sovereignty, I'm dead with you. That horse is absolutely is awesome. I think he's the best 3-year-old personally. I know people will make a strong case for journalism, and they're all the right in the world to do that. I think Sovereignty is a better horse when it's all said and done. Final Gambit interest you at all as another closer option?
A little bit, and I hate the inside draw in the Derby, but for a dead closer, it's really not that bad.
Who cares?
Yeah, we saw Mystic Dan be able to pull it off last year. Sierra Leone was able to close well last year from that inside draw as well. He just is going to drop back and make one run. And if the pace plays out the way I expect it to, and he takes to this dirt, he's going to be dangerous as well. I don't think he can win. I think the win pool is really 4, maybe 5 horses if Baeza draws in, although I think it's going to be a tall task for Baeza to actually win the race. But I think Final Gambit's one of those horses you really have to use underneath the 3rd and 4th spots if you're playing superfectas or tries, because you're going to get a huge number, and the likelihood that he is running late is pretty high.
Well, how does that usually work out when you have so much speed? Or, you say the inside draw isn't great, could get squeezed, but when you have all that early speed around him, don't they just kind of clear out? And it takes a lot of crush for him to get squeezed early. Should be able to find a spot at least.
You'd think it doesn't affect his race very much, because like you said, if all 4 horses, 2 to the inside, 2 to the outside go, he just kind of moseys on over to the rail. And if he's in 17th place, he doesn't mind. If he's in 15th, he doesn't mind. You don't want to be 20th, obviously, but at the same time, as long as he shows any speed at all, he's not last, and he's saving ground on the first turn. Yeah, that's as good of a spot as you can have when you expect a pace meltdown. Yeah,
I would say the likelihood that Final Gambit is 28th out of 20 at the quarter pole is pretty high. And I don't think he's
not low.
But that said, like in this world where there's a pace melt, like the likely top of the card being 18/3, that feels very, very, very likely to me. In a pace melt.
Yeah, if it does, I think that is 100% a possibility. I think you have to look at 14 Tistastic.
That seems like your 3rd place runner in that world.
I've been comparing Tistastic to Mage, and if you go back and you watch the Louisiana Derby, the reason Mage won the Kentucky Derby is because Mage was a very athletic horse. He was able to beat other horses 2 holes in the Kentucky Derby, so he got a better trip than those horses that he beat to those specific holes. If you go back and you watch the Louisiana Derby, Tistastic is able to weave in and out of traffic. He's able to hit the button and then slow down a little bit. Then when the hole pops up, he spurts through it and gets to the spot first. That makes a big difference. If you believe it's a pace collapse, if you feel like it's horses coming from the back, they're going to be racing for spots in the backstretch and in the far turn. And whoever gets to those spots first is going to get the best trip home. Tistastic has that athletic ability, so he's another one I think you kind of have to use.
Okay. Let's talk about the other alternatives then, which is an honest pace. Let's say Citizen Bull gets the lead, East Avenue goes with them, but they're not really like death sprint, right? Rodriguez doesn't want it. The Neo Equos connections get their way, and he just drifts back and fades and is a non-factor. Owen Almighty doesn't go. Let's say that it's just a honest pace with Bull and East Avenue on the front.
I think that favors your favorite. I think journalism
wins that race,
because journalism, the journalism and Grande would be, in my mind, the 2 horses that would benefit most from an honest pace, because if you play that scenario out, this field, more than any other that I can remember in Kentucky Derby history, is packed with speed horses and with deep closers. There's not that many horses that want to sit mid-pack, that want to stalk, which is generally where you win from. And the 2 horses that have proven that they can stalk are Journalism and Grande. Yeah. And to me, those are the 2 horses that really benefit from it. And Journalism drawing the 8 post, he couldn't ask for a better post. Because in that stalking scenario, 4 of the 7 horses to his inside are in front of him, and 3 of the 7 are behind him because they're dead closers. He's the one who gets the rail, and that makes him extremely dangerous. Grande is the other horse where, again, he would be the one that's able to slide right next to Journalism, and the 2 of them get the bang heads down the stretch if that's the case.
Pretty nice stalking trip from American Promise with Getaway Car in the Virginia Derby, if I'm being honest. But I don't want to go too deep in the woods on American Promise, because who the fuck even knows if he's there. But I just want to ask one question about Promise. Let's just, again, pretend that he's healthy and fine and he's perfectly fit for this race. Yeah. If he runs the race he ran in the Virginia Derby, but it's the Arkansas Derby, is he not the co-favorite with Journalism?
No, I don't think he is. If he wins the Arkansas Derby by 7, I think he is Sandman without the hype, right? Sandman without the public backing. He's probably 10-1.
Okay,
somewhere in that range. I think he's still a bigger price than Sovereignty. the Virginia Derby was kind of slow, and they slowed down a lot late in that race.
Yeah, right.
And so that's where the issue is for me when I'm looking at that one. But he was ultra impressive, and he beat Render Judgment by 7 lengths. So you can't make the argument, well, you have to use Render Judgment if you're using American Promise. 7 lengths is plenty of horses can fit in the middle of that. But he's probably 10-1 if he runs that race in the Arkansas Derby.
I'm going to quote the coach. He ran a mile and 13, Mike. It's hard to run a mile and 13 running downhill. And he did it on a flat track. But no, the American Promise hype has really gotten the best of me, I got to admit. But I like the story. The real kind of funny thing, the real deja vu with him is he's a fucking spitting image of Justify. It's like you're watching it all over again. And if it's raining, if it's a rainy, sloppy track on Saturday, and he's out there doing the Justify stalk off the pace in the first half and then just kind of take off from there and hold on for dear life down the stretch, it's just going to be like we're watching it all over again. Like, I kind of feel like that's where we're headed here.
Yeah, the problem is really
the favorite has done it in off track too, though.
Yeah, well, Justify was the last favorite. I think Justify was the last favorite to win.
You mean journalism?
Journalism's done it in off-track conditions.
So journalism, his best races have come. Let me make sure. Yeah, he's been on fast track on every single one. But the thing that I would say, and I've said a lot, is all of what's kind of cool about all the really good sires in America. They're all awesome on the slop. Like journalism's dad is Curlin. Curlin's a phenomenal slop horse, right? Magladoro, phenomenal slop horse. Justify, not this time. All these horses that we have that are the sires in the Kentucky Derby, we're all really good on an off track because they're just all really freaking good horses. So I don't think the off track is a big of a thing. My problem with American Promise is the trip that you said he's never really won with. Like, he's never really stalked the pace. He's either been right on it. He went gate to wire to break his maiden. And he was right on the pace in the Virginia Derby. Like, I don't know if he can sit 4 lengths back and then absolutely clobber them late. He'll have to be dead on the pace, in my mind, to win this race. I don't think anyone can be dead on the pace in this race and win it.
That's reasonable take.
We just need your horse to break the track record, Drew.
Yeah.
Just
159 is doable. Let me tell you. No, because like the bet on Promise, and again, like my die is cast here because I got him in the fixed odds pools at like 30-1. So like I'm way into this at prices that are you're not going to be close to that on race day. So I'm fine with this. And I'm probably getting to. I'll be honest. I'm probably getting to post time and have already lost money because he may not even be there. But let me just say that the bet on is that like he's a late full. Today is his 3rd birthday, for fuck's sake, and he's a monster. And like it does not take much for me to look at that horse and say we have not seen his best race yet, and it could very well be Saturday if he's in the race. So all these freaking caveats, sadly. But anyway, let's talk.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at for track conditions right now? Because just like I did pull up the weather report early. Well, I mean, I guess I drew. Yeah, you're there. You can see the track. But I guess I meant Mike as far as like forecasting on a Thursday, saying this is how I think the track will be. It's tough to say this early, but the weather report kind of looks like shit, man.
Yeah, no one knows. No one knows. Yeah. It changes every 5 minutes.
People are saying we're going to get rain tomorrow and that it'll be fast on Saturday. But I think that it's a roll of the dice, man. It's freaking weather. Who the hell knows what's going to actually happen? I would say this. I don't think in the races, the undercard races, it matters for certain horses. If it's a sloppy track or a fast track. Sure. In the Derby, I don't have that many horses that I'm like, well, they would dominate over this style of surface, right? Again, when you look through our best sires in America, they're all really good on off track, right? And there's just not that many horses that you go through and you're like, well, that horse is going to suck because there's water in the track.
One of them won the Kentucky Derby on and off track. Yeah, one of the sires.
To that point, Drew. To that point, I was Googling something else about the Derby, and this article pops up because it had good SEO, and it was basically like these Derby winners and Triple Crown winners have kids at the play, racing in the Derby. It's like, really?
What?
Is that how that works? And you look.
I mean, there's a couple that are the pedigrees not all that impressive.
No, but I mean,
about thoughts on a couple of these guys.
Curlin has one every year. I think does Curlin have 2? Is it Grande too?
Curlin or Grande is
Grande and journalism.
Yeah,
Grande and American Pharoah has Luxor Cafe and Publisher.
Yep. Just the
one from Justify.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of the potential bombs that might hit the Super.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard me say this on years past, I'll say it again for old time's sake. The bucket list sports betting, kind of hope and dream that I have is hitting the Super in the Kentucky Derby. And I don't want to just hit a chalky Super. I want some bombs.
It's not fun.
I want some bombs down the board, maybe even a bomb in second. Do you see any prices shaping up for horses that you think have very little, if any, chance to win, but that could really juice that pool?
Yeah, I think that you have to talk about like possibly Admire Daytona, the Japanese horse, the 6, that is going to get completely ignored at the windows, that has a shot at running 3rd or 4th. I think both Japanese horses are decent. I don't think either can win the race, but I think both have a chance to really mix it up. And it feels like of the two, Admire Daytona is going to be the one who is absolutely forgotten about. And they were within a nose of each other in a maiden special race over in Japan. So if one is double the price, I would rather take the absolute bomb in Admire Daytona than go in the other direction. I think of the speed horses, if I'm going for one of them to stick around, it's Neo Equos, who's going to be like 50-1. We saw him kind of do this in the Florida Derby where he breaks out, breaks on top, goes really fast. And then Neo Equos is like, cool, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to sit too wide. I don't want the lead. If there's a speed horse that goes and does this, Neo Equos' style, where he'll break well and then he'll sit in 4th and maybe he'll pass a couple of those speed horses and get passed by a couple other horses, but not completely quit out, would be one that I think could hit the superfecta at a monster number there if you're looking for it. I do like, Final Gambit, the 3, but it looks like Final Gambit's going to get bet a little bit. He was 30-1 on the morning line. I like Grande, the 10, who's 20-1, Tistastic, who's 20-1. Publisher's getting a lot of love at 30-1. The number 13 horse. I kind of like Tistastic more. And if I'm not using Sandman, it's hard for me to get the Publisher because I wasn't really.
The thing about Publisher is he's very good at not winning races.
He is.
So using him down the board is not crazy. It's maybe a little IRAD effect too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a good spring.
He is having a very good spring. And that's to the part where like it kind of affects me a little bit. I will say this, like if you're playing the Super, I'm really interested to see what Sandman's price is in the superfecta bets, in the Oaks Derby doubles, in the pick 3s versus the win pool. Because if we talked about the fans coming in, they're all betting win. They're not going to bet the Oaks Derby double. They're not going to come in and bet, the superfecta pool. And so I wonder if there's going to be some value in Sandman versus the off odds in those specific pools. So he's not someone I'm just going to completely ignore, but I would be surprised if he ends up making the ticket just because of the shorter price. And then Chunk of Gold would be the other one that, like we saw in the Louisiana Derby, the horse can run up, and he's 30-1, the 19 horse. If he runs up into 3rd or 4th, I wouldn't be that surprised. I think the top 2 is likely Journalism, Sovereignty, or Grande. I think those 3 horses have the majority of the place share, we'll say, if you run this race 100 times.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to decipher what I just wrote down. I'm gonna have to listen to that part back. I do love taking too many bets on that. I've made an obscene ticket or two at the counter, not at the counter, the little machine.
Yeah.
When it says what it costs at the end. Like, oh my God, what have I done there?
Yeah,
it adds up in a hurry.
I was messing around in an ADW yesterday. Like, well, what would this superfecta cost? What would that one cost? I think one of them was $1,700 for $1. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to bet that one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that brings us to my next question seamlessly. So well done by you. You're a true pro. Let's toss some guys. We got to pare down. We got to do a little bit of hedging here. Like we can't put all fourth place in your Super and expect to, have yourself a day. Let's toss.
Is probably going to miss.
Who are we tossing? I know you probably want to toss American Promise because he's going to be on the lead. He doesn't have the distance, but he's a tap it. He's got a tap it damn sire, man.
That's not always a great thing. Taps are head cases, dude.
But he's not a goofball like the other ones. He's more professional.
Yeah, so it's on the mom's side. He doesn't affect
as
the
a
head
3-year, as a late foal. He's very professional.
Yeah.
No,
Skips a generation.
in seriousness, who are we tossing?
I'm chucking the 1, the 2, the 4, the 5. I'm chucking the 9, Burnham Square. I'm chucking the 11, Flying Mohawk, the 12, East Avenue, the 15, Render Judgment, the 17, Sandman, and the 20, Owen Almighty. Those are the horses I'm not going to use at all. I Coal Battle at 30-1 is another one, which probably could stay on for 3rd or 4th, but not going to kind of fill out those top spots. But I feel like you can chuck close to half of this field, maybe a little bit more. And especially if you're just like, hey, the Japanese horses, they're not as good this year, because there's no Forever Young in this field. There's not a horse as good as last year coming over from Japan. You can get rid of the majority of this field and still be able to try and figure out, okay, now who do I hone in on that first spot, and then trying to figure out how to
move. There's
down
a
the
gate behind you.
I know they're moving. I'm at. Yeah, I know it's wild here. Let me ask you about. You said you tossed one. Are you tossing Bull if he's not the one?
What do you mean?
Like, is it the draw that has influenced you to toss him?
Oh, no, I wouldn't have used him anyway. I think he got the perfect setup in the Breeders' Cup Futurity. If you look at what we've seen in California, it's been small fields where you've had blockers for him. I think the rest of the class has matured better than he has.
Okay. Do you ever use optics? You ever looked at the plot? Yeah. Optic plot?
I have.
Do you understand why Bull stands out like an absolute sore thumb on that plot, like the must bet?
I have not looked at the Derby one yet.
I'll send it to you. I don't understand. Right. Like if you kind of follow
square in the 3rd segment or something.
He's he's a giant square in the 1 quad.
Interesting. Well, that means they think he's going to get loose on the lead, which I completely disagree with.
Interesting.
I mean, that's the squares is depending on where the horse is going to be placed, and then based on
ability to close. Yeah, ability to close. Yeah, I'll send it to you, and you get me your comments. It's at a later time.
All right.
But the like I was ready to just completely write him off after the draw, and then that kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. Like like this, it's set like in the same way that you can squint and watch American Promise run around the track and be like, holy shit, I'm time traveling to 2018. I could definitely squint and see Bob Baffert back at Churchill Downs improbably going gate to wire with the 2-year-old champion. Like it's not impossible to see a Medina Spirit type of trip out of that horse. I wouldn't be, now honestly, like I walked past the stable, his eyes weren't popping out of the side of his head like Medina Spirits were. So maybe he's just chill, but it's in general, like I'm going to be mad if that happens because I'm not going to have money on it.
I don't think you're going to have anything to worry about. I mean, I picked Medina Spirit, bet Medina Spirit, cashed with Medina Spirit. That Medina Spirit was lone speed. There was no one else that was going to go with Medina Spirit in that race, right? This is not lone speed. This is 5 other horses. And so the likelihood that you don't see at least 2 of them go with Citizen Bull is pretty high. The other problem, he's on the rail. If Citizen Bull, for whatever reason, does not break well, his race is over. There's no chance he's able to come from 8th place, which is where you're going to be if you don't break well at best. And so there's no upside with betting him unless you're getting 40-50-1.
So if he does break well, though, he's got a huge ass on that horse.
So that's where my head was going too, because a bet I like to make in the offshores every year is dead fucking last.
Ooh, I got one for you.
I know you always do. Well, I was just thinking about Bull because I was going to say, like, yeah, if he gets squeezed, he doesn't get a good break, he's like 19th. Like it just shit isn't happening. But who your eyes lit up there?
We have a perfect storm. We have a perfect storm for last place.
I know exactly who you're gonna say, and I'm gonna I want close your eyes for a second. I'm gonna put up my hands and then show Andy what my guess is, and then okay. Who we got? Go for it.
The number 20, Owen Almighty.
Oh, gonna be okay. That wasn't my guess.
He didn't hold up enough fingers for that one.
He's going DFL. Dead.
Okay.
Look, it's the perfect storm here because you've got one of the speed horses, right?
Okay.
But the dead outside speed horse who has to clear everybody, and if he doesn't, he is like 8 wide on the first turn, and it's going to be absolutely awful. We'll get to Baeza in a second here. I do want to talk about him. But the trainer Brian Lynch doesn't want to run the horse. He's already said he should be in Pate Mile. So
he should be because he should be.
So the instructions to Castellano are going to be, hey, bro, don't ruin the horse. Like, just go try and get the lead. And if you don't, just
bring him back full of gas, not a scratch on him.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give me a render judgment. I held up 15 because the horse is hurt. But because Toby Keith always dreamed of having a horse run in the Derby, they're going to run him anyway. And I kind of assume they don't want to kill him. So
that's fair. He kind of
could have
too.
We got a thunder snow situation on our hands. He just kind of he's there, but he doesn't really run. No, I render judgment is a pretty surprising runner for me.
Yeah, render judgment could be there. I have a buddy I have a friend of a friend who's a part owner who said he is definitely going to run on Saturday. Okay. So I would be surprised if he's out of there. I guess the other one, East Avenue, the 12, like saw him just absolutely fold up a lawn chair and sit down on the far turn of the Richard Star earlier this year. Like, he was on the lead and finished 10th. So he's another one where if he decides to drop anchor, it's gonna drop pretty hard.
He's gonna stop at the infield for a mint julep on the backside.
Grab a little refreshment, right?
I love it. Okay, let's hit Baeza and answer Brett's question, because I was also curious your thoughts on this. I'm assuming any human on earth who loves journalism is absolutely refreshing constantly the word scratch on Twitter, hoping to see those 6 letters. What's your opinion on his fair odds if he gets in?
So I have fair odds on Baeza at 13-1. So, like, relatively close to the 15-1 number that was mentioned in the chat. I will say this: if you are a Baeza fan and you want to bet the horse, you want to root for a Friday morning scratch or Saturday morning scratch. I'm sorry, for this reason: bet the Oaks Derby double. Right now in the future pools, Baeza is like 53-1 and getting completely ignored in the Oaks Derby double because no one's assuming he's going to be in the race. If you bet the double,
what a strategy! Oh my goodness! If you bet the
double Oaks into the Derby
TVG up right now,
and your Oaks horse wins, you get money. Right? You don't lose your money. You don't get the post-time favorite. You get a consolation double. And if Baeza runs, you're gonna get like 40-1.
A bomb of a price. Pool.
Because everyone's not betting it because they don't think he's going to run. So
how does that work again? Just for the
it's a void. It's a void if he doesn't get in. It's a void if he doesn't get in.
Oh, so I thought they give you the consolation horse.
They give you a consolation double. So they'll give you money more than what you bet. But you will not, and you don't have to worry about. You don't get the favorite. You don't get anything else. So as long as your Oaks horse wins, you get money. You're making money because you'll get a consolation double. If he runs, you're going to get exponentially better price than what you would have gotten. Wow. And so in the difference between the doubles versus like a pick 3 or pick 4, which ends in the Derby, I would use him there too, but you get the post-time favorite if he doesn't run. So you end up with journalism as a double on journalism if you're using him before, if he doesn't end up going. But the double, to me, that's a great sneaky way to bet Baeza at a much better price, assuming the scratch comes Saturday morning, not sometime today or tomorrow.
My double is just
Can I
Baeza.
All to Baeza. You could.
I heard a rumor, and I don't know 100% if it's true, but I think that the Derby day scratch has to be Friday, and it might be because of that pool. There was I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. If that's not true, and then I love the strategy. Sick. What's that?
What happens if a horse just wakes up sick? On Saturday.
Well, the scratch to get him in has to happen Friday.
Oh,
horses
you would
can scratch all live long day.
You say they'd go with 19 then.
He knows. Yeah, he knows. And maybe it's like the end of the day Friday, so maybe there is a window where the vets, the pool is closed and the vets then rule somebody out. But I'm not sure. I need to read up a little bit on that. But I love that strategy.
I'd have to look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure either if he can get in Saturday morning or not. It looks like Jeff's saying in the chat it's locked at 9 a.m. If that's true, the strategy goes out the window. But man, I was really hoping I could get around it.
I'm still doing it.
What you again? You're a true professional here. We're 34 minutes in, and you segued us perfectly to the Oaks.
What can I say? Good.
Yeah.
Cheers,
you didn't like my Derby horse. I'm a ballerina guy in the Oaks.
Okay. I got a different opinion. I'm gonna toss the Baffords in the Derby. I'm a single the Baffert in the Oaks.
So here's the thing. Good Cheer is awesome. The 11 horse. Good Cheer is 6-5. It is hard to swallow a 6-5 shot in 14 horse field. I'm going to play this two separate ways. I'm going to bet some win bets on some bigger priced horses, and I'm going to use the bigger priced horses in the double to the Derby. And then I'm going to play some cold trifectas, some cold superfectas, things like that, where I am putting her in first, Good Cheer in the first spot. And then I'm using one horse in second, one horse in third in the try, or two in second, two in third, and it's prices, right? Where I'm trying to say, okay, I want prices underneath a Good Cheer, or I want Good Cheer to lose the race and have win bets on the other horses. And to me, there's three others that I'm considering. Take Charge Milady, the 10 horse at 12-1. Sucked in the Honeybee, but came back, ran well in the Ashland, lost to Lucara, but I felt like the horse could improve off that race. Beat Quiet Side, who's your second choice in the race. I agree with you, Drew. The 9 Tenma, I think, has a chance to be awesome. And we saw last time out a weaker effort on paper than what we had seen in the past, but now you're second off the layoff. I would expect improvement. If Tenma can run back, she's just as good as Good Cheer. So I don't mind her at all at 12-1. And then, Andy, I think you were going to Ballerina d'Oro. That is a horse that will love the slop. Like, that would be the one thing. If it rains on Friday, Ballerina d'Oro is one of those horses where you're like, yeah, I kind of have to upgrade her. She's 10-1 right now in the 6th spot. So win bets for me probably going to come from the 9 and the 6 spots, maybe the 10 as well. Underneath of the 11, those are the 3 horses I'm going to key on to try and create value around Good Cheer.
One thing about Ballerina d'Oro I wanted your take on. The good, like, super high profile trainers are busy as shit with their Derby horses, and Chad Brown does not have one.
You're right.
So all of his attention gets to go to Ballerina d'Oro in terms of, like, the high profile 7 to 7:30 work out all the horses. He's only got eyes for her. Which not obviously that didn't deter Mick Peak last year from doubling, but still, it's it kind of intrigues me that he's only really got the one classic to focus on.
And like Mike said, I don't know about Saturday. I really don't think we're gonna avoid rain tomorrow completely.
No, it's raining.
It just looks like it's gonna rain.
Yeah, we're gonna have some rain. There's supposed to be rain. I guess, Drew, is it rain today yet? Because they were talking about it getting some rain today, and then I believe
it's cloudy, and there's been some wind and some scattered showers, but nothing to even really. It's like freshening up the dirt. It's not causing any problems, and we at the very tail end of a huge long line of storms, and just basically Louisville avoided it. So everything that they predicted about the weather this week so far has been wrong, and they've changed the forecast for Saturday 5 times. So I have no fucking clue what's going to happen on Saturday, but I think you guys are right. It's going to rain tomorrow, and it looks to be the rainier day. So we'll see. But guess what? Tune in to NBC Sports YouTube page probably, because I'll have boots in the mud tomorrow morning to give you some track conditioning reports, and I'm sure I'll share those on social media so that you can plan accordingly with upgrading your ballerinas.
Yeah, it would favor Ballerina d'Oro.
I've already better on the fixed odds. I already better this morning.
There we go.
11.
There's also, like, Chad Brown. I agree with your take that he's definitely focused on that specific race. He's got some other horses that are very important for him long term on the turf side this weekend that I think you should pay attention to. One of them is the race right before the Derby, the number 4 horse Redistricting, 10-1 on the morning line. That's supposed to be like his horse this year. It's supposed to be the one that really turns into something. Ran first out. Cool. And at Fairgrounds last time out in what was just a mess of a race. A horse that was 80-1 won the race. It went gate to wire. The Fairgrounds turf is a piece of shit. Like, just awful conditions. I think Redistricting is going to run a lot better. You're not getting 10-1. Like, everyone knows that this is the horse that Chad Brown's been talking about for a while.
Well, stop talking about it.
Price probably come down a little, but Redistricting is one of those.
I love it.
Gonna have to keep.
I love it. Let me ask you about a couple of bombs that you're going to use in your cold exactas and tries. Is one of them the one?
I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
Early on was one of those horses that ran really well last time in the Gazelle. I like the fact that she went the distance. I just don't see her improving as much as Ballerina d'Oro improving. And the fact that Simply Joking right to her outside is in there and just faster than her. I mean, this feels like it's another one where if everybody goes, it makes it really hard for a lot of these horses that want to be forwardly placed. And that starts to lead to horses like Bless the Broken, the 13 horse at 30-1. That could easily come up and run down some of these horses. That leads to Take Charge Milady, who likes to come from off the pace. That leads to Ballerina d'Oro, who likes to come from off the pace. And so I'm looking for closers at prices in both of these races, just because of the way it looks like the structure of the race is built.
5G scratching change your pace opinion of the Oaks?
Not too much. I mean, again, like, you just have so much speed in this race. You go through it and you're like, the 1 wants to go, the 2 wants to go, the 3 wants to go. You've got speed coming out of the 7. You've got speed coming out of the 8, or out of the 9. You've got speed out of the 12. It's just like, it would be surprising to me if you don't have 4 horses that want the lead in that race. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden it sets really well up for good cheer, who's going to be sitting right off it. But if they go too fast, the horses that are even deeper have a chance to be able to come up and get her or run behind her at big numbers.
I have a question on just the market in general, and you've touched on it a few times. But, the horses that are going to take money between now and then in the parimutuel markets, if you could make an exacta right now with the fixed odds, what would you bet, knowing what you think you know about where the market's going to move? I ask this because Bookmaker has like 100 listed, and I kind of want to take a couple punts. The fixed odd exactas, baby.
That's
is it just for the Derby?
Just for the Derby, but I mean, literally, there's like 150 of them listed.
What's 18 over 3?
What's 18?
Sovereignty over Final Gambit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I would have to really focus on the prices. One of the things for me here, why I'm kind of hesitating to give you some numbers. I kind of think that the horses, I think that Journalism actually goes off at 4-1, maybe 9-2. Okay. I think that Sovereignty, who I like, goes off at 11-1, 10-1. The horses I don't like are the ones that are going to take money. And so I kind of maybe I just wait around and see what I can get here. Like, if I like Sandman, if I'm a Sandman fan, I am betting Sandman today or tomorrow. And I'm finding fixed odds markets to play him in the exacta and the win pools, right? Because that's where public money is going to come in. Honestly, it would probably be stuff with Journalism right now if I was going to play anything, because if we do have a plethora of scratches, Journalism's taking money. Like, that's going to go down. So if you're thinking, and I would also check, I don't know Bookmakers rules. I don't know if a horse scratches, if your bet is live no matter what.
It's all bets are action.
I'm guessing these are just all action.
No, actually, they're all action unless Journalism scratches. If the Journalism scratch, which is not rumored at all, if that happens, then bets are voided.
That's cover your ass move there.
Well, you remember why? It's because they had their asses hanging out when Forte scratched.
Yep, exactly.
That was a motherfucker for them. All right,
Sovereignty over Final Gambit is 90-1.
How about that's not bad. How about Sovereignty over Journalism?
Like 20.
Nah.
Same with Sandman.
Those are your co-favorites, so it's not crazy.
Sandman over Journalism 20.
Top 2 choices. Yeah. Okay.
So I can give you the comparison of the prices right now. So 18.3 right now is paying 450-1 or 350-1.
Because nobody's getting involved with Sovereignty. So their fixed odds Sovereignty is poison.
I know. I'm gonna have to pull up my parimutuel math. Go look at the tote board before I do some of these.
Yeah, I didn't ask. Sovereignty into Journalism's $30 right now.
Yeah. I got one other Derby course question for you that I forgot to ask when we were in depth covering the Derby, but we're winding down here and I don't want you to step on your pick 5 stuff. I want to tune into that and hear for myself. The feel good underdog story of the Derby would be a win for Lonnie Browse.
Yeah.
This dude's 72. His interviews are fucking just awesome. Like, he's just an awesome, just Louisiana's drawl, decided he didn't want to work in the oil fields anymore and got a job at a farm. got into training much later in life, and ultimately now has his first ever Derby runner in Coal Battle. And I've been trying not to let the kind of feel good nature of it cloud my opinion of the horse, because when you saw him run and win he won the Rebel, right?
The Rebel.
It was a weird race, and he's small and he doesn't kind of pass the eye test. But by God, does he look like he wants to run every time they bring him out for workout. Like, he is a very competitive, and he loves kind of the atmosphere and the energy, to the point where there was too many people. They didn't want him to get too worked up, so they bring him out at 5 a.m. to get his exercise. This horse wants to run. I don't know. Do you have any kind of a vibe on what to expect out of this one?
I think he is one of the more, his bell curve is smaller than a lot of the horses.
Okay.
He's going to run. He's going to show up and he's going to run his race. Could be good enough for 3rd or 4th. I think it would be hard pressed that he wins it. I think a lot of shit would have to go his way, but I don't think that 3rd or 4th is out of the question. And if you look at Coal Battle, he's 30-1. He beat Sandman 2 races ago. 2 races ago, and Sandman is 5-1. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not that big of a gap between these 2 horses. He didn't run as well in the Arkansas Derby as some people wanted. That pace was insane. I think that really affected him. Yeah. And that is the biggest issue here. If we have an insane pace again, is he going to fall victim to the same problem that we saw in the Arkansas Derby? We saw Sandman come from way back. I think that's less likely because of how big of a head case it is. Good luck weaving through 20 horses and figuring your thing out. I think Coal Battle, who's a little closer, has a better chance of running well in the Derby. We'll see if he's able to respond to it. And I've heard the same things as you about like how excited he gets when he sees all these people. That's a little concerning for me, because there's going to be a lot of people there on Saturday.
Yeah. I think he feeds on it from what they're saying. And like the excitement, they just didn't want him to get too excited now. Like they want it on Saturday, but they're not on Thursday, his workout was hilarious. I think it was on Monday, his work, where he was ready to chase he wanted to run down like the other horses out there galloping. But anyway, he's a competitor. I like him. And maybe he's like the matchup special, because again, he's a super long price. People aren't expecting much, but you're going to get an honest run out of him. So yeah, he might be your matchup darling. Yeah, because he's going to be matched up with horses that we think are tosses.
Yeah, he's going to be
some of the DFL horses,
like Render Judgment, and Coal Battle is going to be matched up with like those 30-1-ish ranges.
Admire Almighty, Render Judgment,
American Promise, if you want to go that direction. I mean, so you got a lot of good horses.
I mean, that's a little bit reckless, but yeah, I get it.
I do think matchups are very interesting. I would go against East Avenue. I would go like pretty much anyone over Owen Almighty, and Owen Almighty's in that 30-1 range too. Much rather have Coal Battle than Owen Almighty, right? So the matchups I do think are pretty interesting in this specific year's Derby.
Yeah, did Drew just?
He ditched us.
What happened?
My signal just got nuked. I think everybody back here is using the same bandwidth that I'm trying to use. Sorry, guys.
I was up on the damn roof last night putting in the Starlink. Oh, we got 175 meg download speeds. A little faster than the old one, so shit. I might do a show from home. Who knows?
I love it.
Good question about unit size and stuff. I think this is complicated, and there's a lot to this. And I think me and Drew will probably.
Oh, I got a good answer for that one. Oh, you want to save it for? You want to save it for Deep Dive Daily tomorrow?
I think tomorrow we'll do Deep Dive Daily. We'll go over like how to split up, because I think it varies by the race, and I think we need to get to a pick 5 yet.
Pro tip, make sure you have 2 separate budgets, one for the Kentucky Derby, one for the rest of the day. Yeah. There is nothing worse than chasing in the Kentucky Derby, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, now I got deep into my pocket. Now I'm going to bet more than I should anyway in this race when I've already bet more than I should today. But set a limit for the Derby and for the day, and have them be separate budgets so that you don't bleed one.
Entertainment tax. Yep.
Yeah. That's a bad way to go. They're just and you want to bet the Derby, because this is a opportunity. Every year you have millions of dollars pumped in by people who have no clue what the hell they're doing. It is an opportunity to go after the Derby. And so I will bet more money on this race than I will. It'll be usually is top 10 for me every year. Like there are races that I absolutely love that I'm going to go and back the Brinks Trup on. But this is one where, because there's so many opportunities, I like it.
We got Brett here, who's betting horses every day. Who has the good questions? Thoughts on Georgie W, the 8 horse in the opening verse, race 10 tonight on Third Derby?
I believe I'm using that horse. Yeah, I'm using that horse. Race number 10. I have the horse in third. I'm 10-6-8 in that race. Yeah. Georgie W's 20-1. And let me pull up the form. I can tell you why I like the horse too. Oh, that might take a little while.
Honestly,
yeah, no, I use the horse.
This is the best. You said use the horse. Explain that for anyone who's novice and is just like, because I think this is actually goes hand in hand with the I'm $100 better. How do I stake? Like,
yeah,
make a multi.
So when I say use the horse, I specialize in multi-race tickets. So pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, pick 6s, which means that you have to
super fun.
Pick the winner of consecutive races. So it's like a parlay with horses, right? Versus a parlay in sports. The difference is you can pick as many horses in each race as you want. So there are certain races
round robinish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so there are certain races where I will bet one horse, and that's called a single. And that horse has to win, or my ticket's worth nothing. There are races where I'm like, you know what? I like that horse, but this 20-1 shot is live. This 15-1 shot is live. I'm going to spread out in this race. And what happens is if let's say you're betting a daily double and the base denomination is $1, if you have one horse with 3 horses, you have 3 bets. 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. So it costs you $3 to place the bet. So when I say I used the horse, that means I included it in a pick 4, pick 5 bet, but I don't have it necessarily on top. So it's not a horse I'm running to the window to bet to win, but it is a horse that I want to include in my multi-race bets.
Yeah, and this is the fun part because the payout, even if it goes chalk, is still pretty dang good for what you're paying for. Like you're gonna make money.
I like when you bitch about a chalky.
Well, no, that's the fun part is that you can literally look at the number.
Bigger.
You're like, who do I have in race 8? I got 1, 5, 6, 8. When you're looking at the board, you're like, let's fucking go 40-1. Like, holy shit. Like, if that one hits, this sucker is a bomb. Well, let's go no balls. It was the no balls number that just blew up the pick 6 last year.
It was the one.
He was a 40-1-ish or something like that. Yeah,
well,
that was awesome.
I mean, I was at Keeneland last week. I was playing Keeneland last week. I was 5 deep in a pick 5, and the lowest payout was $2,500. But I had a $40,000 horse, and so I'm sitting there, and the $2,500 horse won. And I'm like, God damn! Like, where's that $40,000?
I know you click through the will pays, and you're literally like,
the will pays. That's where I was getting at. People who haven't bet one of these, if you bet a pick 5 and you've won the first 4 races on whatever groups of horses. Then you get the little screen, you know, I use TVG quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where it just says like, here's what it would pay if this horse you bet wins the race because you're live to win all 5 now. And so you have good. It's like Dion ranking his kids. Like you love all these horses because they all win you money. But there's one horse
you really like this one.
Like you know, if you have like a $30 horse in that last one, like that's all that matters.
The pick 6 into the Derby last year was a 50 cents pick 6 on Derby Day. I can't remember.
I think it is $1. Well, they have a 20.
I can't remember what the pick 6.
I don't know if they're doing.
Maybe it's 20 cents. It's a 20 cent pick 6. The 20 cent pick 6 into Mystic Dan was something like what 100? No,
it was insane.
It was a bomb of a number. Yeah, and I was not live because I can't remember why, but yeah, that was truly bananas. But you can get aggressive with the 20 cent pick 6 because obviously you're betting every single possible combination there. Yeah. And you know, you pick 6 horses in one race and all of a sudden you got a $200 ticket and you're well, then you really can't lose.
And if anyone's watching this and want to learn more, we're going to do the late pick 5 show here shortly. So like if you just jump over to Racing Dudes YouTube, we're going to go through the late pick 5, which is going to pay like $10K. Like I would be surprised if it's not a 5-figure payout on Saturday just because
is it $1 pick 5?
50 cent pick 5.
50 cent picks 5. Okay.
Yeah. It would
again.
It's
what huge. A professional. What a professional.
Oh, you know, I got to help.
We're coming up on the 3:30. We're going to hand off here. Andy, hit the music. Mike, thank you as always. Best of luck on Derby Day. Where can people track down the best of the Mike Somich Derby experience?
At SOMOBOMB 18 over on Twitter. If you want somewhere to be with us on Derby Day, be on Mad Dog Sports Radio from 4 to 8 o'clock, hosting VSiN at the track, and check us out on SiriusXM or SiriusXM channel 158 over on VSiN.
I love that because there's a lot of time to kill between races, it turns out.
Yep.
And if you've already got your picks, if you've already got your pick 6 in your hand, that means you already did your handicapping. So you got to fill the time somehow. You might as well listen to Mike on Mad Dog Radio. I fucking love that. Anyway, best of luck to you and everyone else who treats this day like going to church once a year. I can't wait. Churchill Downs, the vibe is just immaculate here. It is so good. Andy and I will cover some more horse racing tomorrow on Fuck Around Friday, Deep Dive Daily, and talk about
horses
the
and
drinks
wine
and the food here. Yeah, I might be pretty hungover tomorrow morning. We're going to a bourbon bar tonight that I'm going to do some damage. So healthy amount of Mictors in my future tonight. But let's wrap here so Mike can make his commitments.